Good afternoon, Sparklers. I'm Brandon Specktor, here live in the seedy basement of the Barnes & Noble headquarters. Also, we have the talented Asher Monroe here with us.
Yes.
All right, cool, man. Well, thanks for joining us here today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is the first time we've met, but oddly enough, it is not the first time that we've been in a room together. Like 15 years ago, when I was a wee 7-year-old in Tucson, Arizona, I saw you doing your first job on the road.
You saw Beauty and the Beast?
I did see Beauty and the Beast.
Whoa.
Could you tell Sparklers what your role was?
Yeah, I was that little teacup. I was Chip. So yeah, that was my first thing. That was my first thing ever. So it was a pretty amazing experience traveling the country and going to all these cities. And Arizona was one of our stops.
Yeah, that's awesome. Chip was always my favorite piece of anthropomorphic houseware. So how did you get that role?
That was my first big break. I basically was living in Virginia at the time, and my next door neighbor told me about this big open call at Kennedy Center, and I just thought it sounded like an awesome opportunity, and begged my mom and got her to take me, and that day I got it, and it was a crazy whirlwind of is this actually happening? And that pretty much just changed my life from that day forward. So I jumped on a tour for the next 2.5 years of my life, and then things just kept going after that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you did for your audition?
Yes, I sang the song I Ho, the Snow White song.
Oh, yeah.
And I even did that arm thing that you just did a minute ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You just turned 24, yeah?
Just turned 24 last week.
That's happy birthday.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, how'd you celebrate?
It was chill. I've had some crazy birthdays in the past few years, and I felt like this year needed to be toned down a little bit, and I just had kind of more laid back, me and some good friends, and it was very cool, chill. It was very chill. Yeah.
All right. Not crazy like your video for Here With
No.
You.
That was an excuse to get crazy for sure. That was a fun video, and as you can see in the video, it captured, I think, the energy that we were trying to create that day. So it was a fun video to make.
Yeah, lots of kind of random stuff in that. Like there's the time stopping and
this
weird Tron kind of background at one point.
I always wanted certain things for that video. I like the stop freeze motion. I like slow motion. I like when I was adding 3D objects and all that stuff. I think it just adds different elements to the video that I think excites the viewers, and I think they like to see that kind of stuff too. And so I'm a part of the very, very much hands-on, a part of the creative process, and in the editing room, and it's fun. That's part of the other side that I think maybe some artists do, some artists don't, but I preferably really enjoy that side.
Yeah.
And I like to be involved as much as I can. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So how did you make the transition from Broadway musicals and acting into the pop music?
Well, I think it just gradually moved to that. When I was living in New York, I was around a lot of people that were working very young ages and doing very big jobs and that kind of thing. And for me, it just, after you get a first big project, you get an agent, you get a manager, you get all these things, and then they start getting all these projects for you, and they start sending you out. And as a kid, you're like, I've already done something like this, let me try something else. And it just kind of spirals into other opportunities. And so, that was really cool, just to venture into singing for commercials and singing in a feature film that I did, or doing things like that. For me is just like another realm of the creativity.
Yeah, the band you were in, was that V Factory?
Mm-hmm, V Factory.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm not really familiar with them. What's they do?
Well, it was I think at the time, a lot of the labels were doing quote-unquote boy bands, and I had an option to either go to college or be the front man of a Warner Brothers boy band.
All right.
And I was like, well, let me meet these guys first. Let me hear the music. Let me meet the people from Warner, and everything just seemed like a great fit. It was nothing that was cheesy. I didn't think anything was, that's always a worry, because I was like, do I really want to be in something like that? I don't know. But then when I don't know, it just felt right, and it definitely, I'm glad I did, because if I didn't, maybe I'd be working as the business manager where I was going to be going to college. So,
what would you say your geekiest habit is?
Geekiest habit?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say writing is a geeky habit, but
Well, it depends on what you write.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Some type of poetry and rhyme schemes and all that stuff is definitely can be geeky to some people, but to me it's like, it helps me become a better writer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
what kind of poetry do you write?
It's basically just in terms of how I write my songs.
Okay.
So, I think any time that you want to, every day it's a muscle that you're building. So whether you're trying to either rhyme certain words together or put, like, a song sometimes can be looked at as like a puzzle. You're trying to put it together. So it's kind of an art form in its own. And just by making it make sense from start to finish is actually a harder process than you might imagine. So for me, just creating a song sometimes is my form of poetry, and trying to put that together.
Absolutely. What's the first piece of the puzzle that you usually start with?
Usually I start with the hook, and the hook is technically the chorus.
Okay.
So that's like the main part that most people would hear in a song, the most catchy part.
Okay, cool. And tell me a little bit about the Digi-Tour.
The Digi-Tour was a touring experience that I got to do a few months back, and it was good. It was good to be out with people that they had made a very big platform for themselves in terms of putting their music or whatever they're doing. It was a great way to just collaborate with different type of people, and it was a very eclectic group of people.
It's all YouTube musicians.
Very YouTube musicians, and then there was a rapping act, and there was very interesting people, and it was different, totally different realm of I've never done a tour like that.
Did you ever expect that the internet would be so key in your success?
Well, you definitely have to get on the boat or get off, because you have to realize that it's such a it's a fast moving ship, and even just how much more importance I see social media nowadays, and just in terms of having a Twitter, having a Facebook, having all the newest things that kids are really into, because nowadays as an artist you really want to connect with your fans as much as possible, and it's there's so many easy ways to do that, and so I think it's great on a daily basis that I can communicate one-on-one with my fans and let them know where I am and what kind of shows I'll be doing, what kind of music I'm doing, and it just keeps them excited, and it just keeps it's like a closer connection to your actual people that enjoy your music.
And they're good marketers too.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the YouTube videos, like birthday messages and compilations of songs and footage from your whole career.
You can't underestimate. They know, and sometimes you wonder, like, how did they find out certain information about me, or that,
you get some creepy fans?
No, really, there's, I call them the die-hard fans.
Okay,
and
die-hard is a better word than creepy.
Yeah, they know everything, they know your whereabouts, they know everything you're into. There's definitely some diehards out there, but it's great, because without them, that's the kind of support you need nowadays. A lot of people lose interest, and if you have the people that stick with you from beginning to end, I couldn't ask for anything more.
For sure. What's your next move? How are you staying on top?
Well, just knowing about it. I think my fans help me a lot of times. They tell me what's new and what's hot, so just keeping in communication. You can't live in a bubble per se. You have to be out there and networking and meeting people, and just being smart about what's out there, and not being negligent to what's actually going on.
And what can we expect next from you? You have some more singles coming?
Yes, I do. I'm pushing Here With You right now. That's the main push, and that's actually really the main focus right now, is just pushing Here With You.
For sure.
And then hopefully, by the end of the year, we'll have an album or something. So
awesome.
Yeah.